Are we live? Are we all here? Are we live? Are we live? No intro tonight. No intro. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to a late night live stream with your host, yours truly, Tanya. Good to be here. Good to be here. I'm glad that you guys are all here. Thank you guys for being here for a late night stream. I know it's really late. I didn't plan on being on this late, but a girl had to eat. And then when you have the retainer, if you have a retainer, you understand my pain. So it took me a couple minutes. So I'm so sorry. It actually took Vincent a couple minutes to get back here with the food, but we're all here now and it's good to see everybody. Let me put the chat on the screen so you guys can see it if you want. If it'll let me. There we go. Let me do them. You can do them right. That way you can read the whole message, That way you can read the whole message. But let me know if that's better for you guys, or if you guys think that's a distraction, let me know. But anyways, my name is Tanya. If you're new here, Titanium Built is the channel. You stumbled across us. Welcome in. Welcome to, a new channel if you're new. And if you're not new, thank you for coming back and joining for another round. I appreciate it. And Ladybug, I can't believe you're up this late. I thought for sure, I said, Ladybug's probably going to be in bed. Hey, Ashley. It's been a while, I feel like. Hey, Casey, I'm back. I came back. I came here. I was like, Casey asked me if I was going to do a live. I said, should I do a live? And I really thought that in my head. I was like, should I? Hey, Ladybug. It's a late one. Are you in your jammies? Is everyone in their pajamas? I hope so. Hey, Miss Bree. Hey, Princess. Hopefully no one's at work or anything crazy like that. And also, I do have... I think an eyelash of mine. I do have the video from the courthouse from when I can't think straight. Caleb Carl, when he went in, he pled not guilty today. And he was like sobbing a little bit about his kids. He better get used to it. Okay, let me see if I can get this eyelash. I know it's like gonna bother me. I think it's an eyelash. I should have you guys watch me do this because it's kind of funny. Like, how do you find an eyelash in your eye if you only got the one eye, right? It's quite easy, but I could feel something in there. Sorry about that. We're going to get to tonight's live. I swear we are. And it's going to be spectacular. So just stick around, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all those things, and I'll be right with you. I'll be right back with you guys. I swear, like, I can feel it. I can, like, you can like almost, you just know it's there. Okay, we'll give up for now. Because I'm going to end up wiping off all my makeup. Which I don't care, but it's been on all day anyway. I can't get to it. I cannot get to it. It's really bothering me. I'm sorry. I'm just going to sit here for a minute and see if I can find it. Like, you guys are probably not wanting to watch me. Did I get it? I will wash off all this. I will wash off all this makeup. Don't make me do it. Because it could be like a piece of mascara or something. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. Where are you, eyelash? You're bothering the live. Okay, you're ruining the live eyelash. It'll be okay. We'll get back to that. Hey, Princess. Welcome in. Hey, Jen. I just stopped like greeting everybody. I'm like the worst. I'm like the worst little door greeter at the Walmart, the ones that don't ever greet you. They'll just look at you. Howdy. Hey, Tommy or Tammy. Sorry. Hey, Tammy. You're in bed. Well, good. Don't fall asleep on us though. We're gonna have a good life. That's something my mom would have said. She said, hell no, I'm not that old. I'm usually up until 3 or 4. Hey, True Crime Junkie. That's the best comeback. That was the best comment. Hey, PKC. Hey, Colleen. That was a good one. She told me, didn't she? I liked it when you came in here that one day and you were like 25,000 or something subscribers by the end of the live. I was like, you listen to Ladybug. Listen to her. when she speaks. So I did find a couple article. Just like one article that I found pretty interesting. And I thought we'd go through it and then we'll hit the FoxNation live up. But today does mark day 20, I guess, 1920. I don't think anybody can get it right. It was the first. But since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother, of course, of, TV show co-host, anchor Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing from her Tucson home. I have never seen media like that. Like, I still haven't seen media like as what is out there right now. She's getting a lot of coverage. She's, 84, right? And then her daughter, of course, is a co-anchor of the Today Show. So that really has catapulted her into the spotlight. I know the Fox Nation or Fox News, or not Fox News, maybe it's Fox News, CNN, News Nation. There's a couple of them. They just need to rename their channels like Nancy Guthrie, because that's all they've been playing like for the last 20 days. It's just been, it's just, I don't know. It's kind of sad. Like, it's kind of sad that we haven't found her yet. For real. But Nancy Guthrie was last seen in her home in the Catalina foothills of Arizona in the early morning hours of February 1st of this year. Evidence at the scene, which was, we all know what it was, strongly indicated that she was taken against her will and not probably by the cartel. And investigators quickly classified her disappearance as a suspected kidnapping. So shortly after all that, surveillance footage was released. We got the surveillance footage of the masked and, armed individual that was tampering with the doorbell camera, despite thousands and thousands and thousands of public tips and efforts by the FBI and, I guess, Sheriff Nanos. We'll say local law enforcement. No arrests have been made. No suspects have been publicly identified. They've, ran into some people's homes, like crazy people, and that's about all we've really seen. And I always like to put a picture up. I meant to grab this earlier. I usually have like a little folder for all this kind of stuff, but I don't have one. It's not going to show me the whole thing. Why does it do that? Did you see her billboards that went up? I thought those were pretty nice. I don't know how many they put up. I know that they put up a good amount, but I'm not sure exactly how many they put up. Okay. Let's see if I can just get. Okay, there we go. I'm like, can I get the missing persons flyer? It shouldn't be this hard to grab it, but it is, and it's kind of small. I can't do that with one hand, so that's okay. As long as you guys can see her face, I think everyone knows her face at this point. I think everyone knows what the armed individual looks like at this point. Now, I guess the reward has went up to $200,000. I had heard, I forget who it was that said, someone said who it was, I thought. But now I'm here to anonymous donor. So I'm not sure if it was an anonymous donor or if the person's name is out there somewhere and we just know it because we're on the internet. Hey, TM. Hey, DM. TM. Hey, welcome in, everybody. If I didn't see it. Oh, hey, Renee. I miss Renee. No way. We have another one. Another grandma. We can have more than one grandma. Kentucky Lucky, hello. So I said she's America's grandma, but we can have more than one. We definitely can, for sure. That's heartbreaking. In Florida, how old is she? Stop messing with grandmas. There's something in my soul about the elderly and about the children. You just don't mess with them. And the animals, don't mess with them neither. They can't defend themselves. Like, if you're going to try to, like, do something, I don't know, mess with someone your own size. Just don't mess with anyone at all. How about that? But I wanted to show you this. It's a visual guide to the evidence in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. It's kind of like a how-to for dummies, and I liked it. So I thought we would go over it. This is kind of what they're working with, They got the glove, they got the Bitcoin, they got the ransom letters. Look, one in the mailbox, Harvey. You better answer that. The DNA, and then they got like the little DNA boot for the buccal swab, and then they got the book bag. So that JLR went and purchased himself. Why did he go get that book bag is beyond me. I don't know. They might be calling him, asking him, hey, when did you purchase that bag? But and this came out 17 hours ago. So it's a 4-minute read, so it won't be too long. But it's been nearly 3 weeks since Nancy Guthrie vanished from her secluded Tucson, Arizona home in the dead of night, and investigators say they are no closer to identifying a leading theory or motive behind her abduction. I know that she didn't do this, but wouldn't it be something if she planned this? I mean, I'm just saying, that's a conspiracy from hell. But it just popped in my mind, like, I know she didn't, but it would just be kind of nice, like, if she just showed up. I was like, here I am. Hey, Tony. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. It's good to see you guys. Hey, Laura. Yeah, we're back. They're eating donuts. Did you see JLR and the crew went out? They went out to dinner. Him and his like little new YouTube crew, or they're not YouTubers. They're necessarily, I don't know what they are. They're creators of some sort, but I didn't know any of them. I was like, oh, maybe I did. I just didn't recognize them. But yeah, they went out to dinner. Thought it was kind of nice. The saga has become a waking nightmare for Guthrie's family, with her daughter, Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, posting a series of increasingly heartbreaking pleas on social media for her mother's abductors to do the right thing and bring Guthrie home. I mean, well, they kind of can't. They can't bring her home. There's too many people out in front of the house. Take her to a hospital, take her, a block away from the police station. So, I don't know. Just probably ain't going to take her home, though. I mean, let's be real. JLR will be like on that. And he likes to yell from afar. A private donor is backing a new $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Guthrie's captors. Meanwhile, the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI have increased their reward to $100,000. President Trump, what's your reward at? He should put something up. Investigators are facing mounting pressure to piece together the fragmented puzzle of evidence they've gathered, from chilling surveillance footage and alleged ransom notes to DNA and a collection of gloves. Here's a look at what we know about the evidence in the investigation. So we have the surveillance footage. And perhaps the biggest break in the case so far, investigators on February 10th released surveillance footage and images recovered from Guthrie's doorbell camera. The Nest camera was reported missing after Guthrie's abduction, but investigators partnered with Google, which owns the camera company, to recover some of the data. Yeah, don't mess with Google. The grainy video shows a man in a ski mask approaching Guthrie's front door and attempting to cover her doorbell with a gloved hand. He then walks off the porch and picks up shrubbery to try to cover the lens. Yeah, when Vincent saw it, he's like, what's that guy doing? I'm like, oh, he's just grabbing that vine, gonna put it over the camera. It's totally normal. That's totally natural. Who is that? Who could that guy be? Whoever it is, they lean forward when they stand. I could tell that. They lean forward. Maybe that book bag's heavy. Like, how you like lean forward when you have like a heavy book bag on you? That's what it looks like he's doing. He's doing a little lean with it. Colleen, I think that he's starting to get there. I think JLR is starting to get there. I think he's doing a lot better than he used to. I mean, he's not suing the Kardashians anymore. He's not acting like the uncle from Sandy Hook. I mean, God forbid. But I mean, he's still got a past. That's not even prison time. I still want to buy his book, though. Only if he'll sign it. I'm not buying it unless he signs it. But I need to get with him and be like, I'll buy one of your books. The FBI later described the person as the suspect in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. The agency said the man is approximately 5'9" to 5'10" tall, with an average build. We hope this updated description will help concentrate the public tips we are receiving. Well, we knew that by looking at him. I said 5'10". We could tell by looking at him his average build. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to go to like the circus or something and be one of those people that tell your height and weight. So Savannah Guthrie later shared footage on her social media accounts with the caption, "Someone out there recognizes this person. We believe she's still out there." She writes, "Bring her home." I mean, that book bag was full. Just full of what? I mean, I don't know. I don't like that. That's very scary. In the footage and images released by the FBI, the suspect appears to have a gun holster near the center of his waist, an unusual position, and is seen wearing a backpack with reflective straps. The FBI later said the backpack he is wearing is a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack. The Pima County Sheriff's Department told CNN the backpack is only sold at Walmart and investigators are working with the retailer to gather more information. It's been 10 days. Walmart should be faster than 10 days. If it's a card payment, they should be able to pull up all the card payments that made they should be able to type in that SKU. I don't know if they have the power to do that, but they should be able to. I mean, if they did, if I owned a Walmart, I would have the power to type in that SKU and know exactly which credit card bought, what, say, there's one on a Visa card, there's one on a MasterCard, and then you just go down the list of people. And then if all of those people check out and you still have, your store has 10 and you only have 5 left, you're looking for 5, right? You sold 5. Well, then you look at the other people, if you can. If they paid with cash, maybe you could somehow use your systems to when, they paid with the cash at the maybe self-checkout. I don't know. But I would have some sort of like badass system like that. My system is me right now. We don't have SKUs. We have names of clothing. So then it says the glove. So as they searched the area around Guthrie's home, investigators recovered multiple gloves. This glove might be more popular than the freaking O.J. Simpson case. But a glove found about 2 miles from the house appeared to visually match the ones worn by the suspect, according to the FBI. Authorities took DNA samples from the glove and ran it through the national database known as CODIS, which compares the DNA sample against the profiles of more than 19 million known offenders. But it did not return any matches. Authorities have not determined if the glove is connected to the kidnapping. And then the DNA. Investigators say they also recovered DNA from Guthrie's property that doesn't match the 84-year-old or anyone close to her. Although they have not disclosed where the DNA was recovered, they've said they're still working to find a match. I would love to know where the DNA was recovered if we could know. After the DNA on the glove failed to return a match in CODIS, investigators will likely turn to the growing field of genetic genealogy, which has led to the breakthroughs in several high-profile cases, including 163-214 and the Gilgo Beach murders. Genetic genealogy capitalizes on the popularity of consumer DNA products to compare a forensic DNA sample against the profiles in the database of private companies like Ancestry. Even if the suspect has never personally used an at-home DNA service, a family member may have, and this can unlock clues to their identity. Yeah, you better hope your great-great-grandma or your whoever didn't use any of these. They weren't around then, but you know what I mean. Didn't put their name in any of these little DNA services. I could care less, put my name in there, but some people do care. So then we have the ransom notes. How many ransom notes did Harvey Levin get? Was it 5? I don't think he's gotten any since haven't covered this case in a couple of days. So I don't think he's gotten any in the last couple of days. But let me know. Tony said, I don't think Walmart would be helpful. They're usually aren't. It's true. Oh, you're with your dad, DM? That's fun. There's 2 gloves. That's true, Kimber. But I think they have a system that would still credit the other store somehow. Let me think. I haven't worked in it. I used to work for a store that had multiple. I don't ever remember people bringing stuff back from them, though. From those back, though. Or back to us, though. I'm going to have to think about that. Because Walmart would have a system. They would know, like, how many they sold, for sure. Like, how many units sold. They should be able to pull it up by credit card. So, throughout the investigation, multiple media outlets have received purported ransom notes from people claiming to be Guthrie's captor. While authorities have not said whether the ransom notes are authentic, investigators have said they are taking them seriously, which they should. Days after Guthrie went missing, TMZ was among the first to report. They were the first on an initial note demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin for her safe return. According to the outlet's founder, Harvey Levin, the note began by saying Guthrie was okay but scared. Okay, so that would have been like a couple of days after her abduction. What do you think she is now? You know? Levin said that the letter included one detail that has not been reported: the placement of Nancy Guthrie's Apple Watch. Well, we all know she probably took it off and put it on her nightstand. Does that mean I stole her? I kidnapped her? I abducted her? I think that's exactly where her Apple Watch was. I think her phone was there too. Plugged into the charger. Maybe in the kitchen, plugged in on the counter, you know. Like, I'm not sure where she kept her phone, but I'm sure it was plugged in wherever it was. I'm sure she was in bed. It was in the morning, early morning. Levin said the letter included, oh, I already read that, sorry. The note also included two deadlines. The same letter also was sent to local CNN affiliates KOLD and KGUN. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that they were sent to two other people. Okay, so they're both CNN affiliates, though. KOLD later reported a second note had been sent to its tip email and shared with investigators. A man has also been charged with sending a fake ransom threat in connection in this case. The FBI said he was trying to profit from the case and there was no evidence to connect him to her disappearance. I mean, he's lucky that's all they said to him was like, you have a court date and you're going to be in some trouble. Like, I mean, they could have kept him. They could have held him for, 48 hours without, and then they have to let him loose because they can't charge him. They could have done him dirty for being so crazy dumb. That's not even crazy dumb. That's, I don't even know what that is. That's just, I mean, insanity. Like, who would do that? Who would think? I mean, I don't know how your brain thinks like that. Oh, I see an 84-year-old woman that's missing on the internet or on the TV or wherever he saw this. I think I should send in a ransom note and request millions in Bitcoin. Let me sign up for a Bitcoin address, or maybe he had a Bitcoin problem. The person that, that is in jail, or I think he's out of jail now. Yeah, he was out of jail because he went to court. He was outside of court. So I wonder if he had like a gambling problem. No, nothing. No, nothing. If I was her, I would have had alarms on my door. Something, a little chime. You're getting older, 84. I don't know. I don't know what she had and what she didn't have, but that's what I would have. I think my dog wants in. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to let my dog in. So this is called Vanished: What Happened to Nancy Guthrie. I was watching it earlier. It seemed pretty good. I'll put this on the screen like this.
The mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie is missing, and authorities have launched a massive search for her.
The investigation has become an all-hands-on-deck probe with local, state, and federal authorities involved.
Fox News is reporting that local officials found blood and signs of forced entry, and now the Pima County Sheriff's Office is now aware of possible ransom notes sent to at least one media outlet.
Resources for missing person that we typically always do. Our search and rescue volunteers, our search and rescue teams, other agencies, Star from Border Patrol sent their canines out. They worked tirelessly all day yesterday and all day tonight. We believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home.
County Sheriff's Office says as of right now, they have no suspects or no persons of interest.
Everyone is looking for your mommy everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
I'm standing outside the home of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Savannah Guthrie, talk show host. Now, her mother has been reported missing, and the police have very few leads or suspects. This is the story now as we know it. Tucson, Arizona sits in the heart of the Sonoran Desert, where wide skies, jagged mountains, and towering cacti create a striking, serene beauty.
Tucson, Arizona consists of a population of just over 500,000 people. So we're speaking of 500,000 people. It's not a small city, it's not a large city, it falls right in the middle.
The area where Nancy Guthrie lives, it is one of the better neighborhoods in Tucson. So you would think of it as a safer neighborhood. The homes there are higher priced, perhaps, than you would see in other neighborhoods in Tucson.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Although the area that she lives in is a safe neighborhood, you have a lot of incursions at the border, such as drug cartels, human trafficking, that do impact in that area in Arizona. So not to discount their level of expertise in dealing with violent crime, but this is not something that traditionally happens in that area of Tucson, Arizona.
Nancy Guthrie has been living there for more than 5 decades. She's active in her community, very close to her family, and very religious.
She was an avid churchgoer. In fact, Savannah Guthrie has previously said, growing up, we would go 3 times a week. It was very much a part of my upbringing. God was the 6th member of our family.
The evening of January 31st, Nancy Guthrie was at her daughter's home, Annie Guthrie, and her son-in-law, and they live in Tucson, just about 4.5 miles away from her home, about an 11-minute drive. Nancy Guthrie took an Uber over to her daughter's home for a family evening, a dinner.
Nancy was driven back to her home in the affluent Catalina foothills by a family member just before 10 p.m. She entered her house through the garage door and closed it 2 minutes later.
They have an ordinance there where they don't have any street lights. So the only light that you would have would be like from this little like pole light here. And you know, those little things don't give you no ding light. So it's dark. It's dark out there. I know that kind of like level of darkness. I'm from the country. It can get dark. And I'm sure in Arizona, it's even darker than out here. I don't even know. I just see it being spookier at night. With all them cactus. Cool.
Just before 2 a.m., her doorbell camera disconnected. About 30 minutes later, software detected a person on a different camera. 15 minutes after that, Nancy's pacemaker app disconnected from her phone. The following morning, Nancy didn't show up for church.
She attended church every Sunday, and other parishioners noticed that she was not at church that Sunday morning. And so they contacted Nancy's family.
It set up some antennas as to what her whereabouts may have been. Because she's an 84-year-old woman that has some physical challenges, it was determined that she should have been either in church or in the house, and the assessment was she was in neither of the two. So as a result, there was a call to law enforcement.
We referenced Nancy, a white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, Pineapple Blue, living after 2,200 hours as of yesterday. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
When law enforcement arrived, they saw that there were blood drops on the front porch. Again, before knowing who those blood drops belonged to, that obviously concerned them.
We have a blood trail in the front of the house. However, we don't have anything of substance that will lead us to the directional path that she exited the residence.
Nancy Guthrie.
See, that to me is strange. Right? It's like they just stopped. Like you got a couple blood spots like outside the door, like in an area. It looks like she was either like leaning over or like maybe her nose was dripping, mouth, something like that was dripping. Something was dripping, you know, like the wound was. But then all of a sudden it just stops. So, I mean, it had to have been, I feel like a small wound to where maybe like somebody could have like put their hand over her to like, to make it to where it wasn't, you know, coming and hitting the ground anymore. Because that to me is strange.
She had a very sharp mind, but she had some physical limitations based on what the family had shared. She walked with a cane typically. And so they knew that she would not likely have just left the home and gone a far distance on her own. And that was quite alarming to the family and again to law enforcement.
As authorities canvassed the property for clues, they noticed something unusual. The camera on the front door was missing.
When law enforcement went in to look into that, the technology company advised that she did not have a paid subscription. And so apparently there were other cameras around the home.
At 2:12 a.m., the software detected a person on camera. This was a camera that the sheriff said he could not pinpoint the location of the camera.
This was not an impulsive crime. There was planning that had gone into this.
At this point, it became clear Nancy had not left the home on her own, and it appeared she had been abducted.
We have an 84-year-old woman that has been kidnapped, that's in need of medication, and we've seen blood on the front of her house, which dictates that there's an injury.
We believe now that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime. This is a 84-year-old lady who suffers from some physical ailments, has some physical challenges, is in need of medication that if she doesn't have in 24 hours, it could be fatal.
This was 24 hours later. As he's talking, this was the second. So, I mean, like, it's damn near almost 24 hours later at this point.
Is mobile.
Maybe we should ask him that question now. And also, would you guys be interested in doing a whole like live over Sheriff Nanos's interviews? Because I think that would be a good one. Hopefully, yes, because I already started on it.
It's a challenge for her to get, as the family says, she couldn't walk 50 yards by herself.
Do you believe that this was targeted, or they just happened to Guthrie's mom, or this was just a random?
We don't know that. We look at all of that, but we just don't know.
This sent shockwaves throughout the community.
In the 50 years I've lived here, I've never heard of any crime like this. It's a friendly neighborhood. It's a very comfortable place to live. That's one of the main reasons I moved here many years ago. And people walk every day in the streets around the neighborhood, and they know one another, greet one another, walk their dogs, and by and large, there's just no crime.
I wonder if any of the neighbors have stopped walking like by there because of all the media. Just, I mean, you know, I'm just curious because like people move out to this place, it looks like, you know, out to the middle of nowhere to be out in the middle of nowhere, right? They don't want to be bothered. That's why there's, you know, 2 acres, approximately 1 to 2 acres in between each house that, you know, each house like sits on. My dogs would run off the reporters. So I don't know. Yeah, my dogs would definitely run them off. Yeah, definitely.
The people in that particular neighborhood, I think their concern is the safety, because they moved to that spot, which is a very good neighborhood in Tucson, hoping that you don't have these types of incidents. But when you see it, I think it's an eye opener, and you realize, look, there's potential for danger and there's potential for criminal behavior, regardless of what area of any city you're living in.
Nancy's disappearance was now national news. Her social media photos were plastered everywhere in hopes that someone might recognize her and have some idea as to where she might be.
So obviously in these investigations, time is always of the essence, but particularly when you're dealing with an individual who has health issues, that adds another layer of extreme complication. Additionally, you want to get as much evidence as quickly as possible, again, because of the urgency and the sensitivity of saving a life. But they're doing the typical investigative moves, you know, technological evidence, forensic evidence, DNA samples.
She was last seen on Saturday night by family members and again was reported missing on Sunday morning. They brought in volunteers, they have dogs, they have drones, they have aircraft using infrared imaging.
They asked the neighbors for help. Had they seen anything? More importantly, had their security cameras seen anything? Nancy went missing when it was dark, and her neighborhood limits light pollution.
Areas of Pima County and Tucson, they have a rule where they do not allow certain lighting. So there's areas in neighborhoods that don't have your typical street lights like you would see in a lot of other cities. That whole area where her home is and the other homes, it's extremely dark.
How do they feel about having all those reporters with all those big ass lights? Those lights are huge. I mean, I have them. Like they're big. I mean, Brian Enton ain't going out there with, you know, a circle light. Okay. So yeah, you've seen it. You saw Idaho, how it was lit up at night. Just imagine that times a million.
Between 1 to 5 a.m., you're in essence going to have complete darkness. So your line of sight is going to be somewhat limited.
Yesterday, we get word that the helicopters in the air, and some of my sources tell me that BORTAC and BORSTAR, which is the special operations with the K9 unit as well, are out there with Border Patrol searching the terrain.
They're going to be looking around outside, sending canines, looking for any sort of inkling of where she could be.
I went directly to the neighborhood. I got out and I ended up walking through all the various areas of the desert near and around her home to see if there was any possibility of finding some type of footprints.
Drawing upon his 20-plus year career in Border Patrol, Art Del Cueto, a Tucson resident, took it upon himself to take part in the search for Nancy.
Tucson has a lot of rolling hills. It has a lot of dry creeks and rivers that are dry. We call them washes out here. So there's a lot of washes in this particular neighborhood where Nancy Guthrie lives. I first started obviously behind her home. I looked into those washes and I just started looking at anything that I would find the disturbance in the trees, in the dirt. As horrible as it sounds, you start looking to see if there was any heel drag marks behind the house in the wash area near her home.
So nothing in the back like that. That would indicate they took her out the back door, like, dragging her anyway. One person would have a hard time carrying her, wouldn't they? You think? Controlling her if she's like flailing, like you're not going to go easy in the night. So you might need more than one person.
Later that day, a motive.
Like maybe a person to pull the car up, or a person to hold her legs while you hold her mouth and her like torso, or like I just don't see her going quietly. She's 84. They said she's sharp as a tack. I believe it.
Came in the form of an untraceable email sent to local news station KOLD.
We were pretty alarmed pretty quickly, and we sent that information over to the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and their detective got back with us and asked us for some follow-up info so that they could perhaps figure out who did this.
There was some software that was used to obfuscate where that information came from. This is not groundbreaking technology. We shouldn't take that as an indication that the person who's sending this is technologically savvy.
As the search for Nancy continued, 2 more ransom emails were forwarded to law enforcement. The first was sent by a local news station. The second, sent by TMZ.
There was a ransom email that was sent to TMZ, and the fact that they chose TMZ is interesting. But looking at the actual contents of the email is equally as interesting, because they provide a Bitcoin account, which supposedly is a real Bitcoin account. They also provide a 2-tier timeline for the deadline. Their first one being on Thursday at 5 p.m. and the second one being several days later on Monday.
I wonder if anybody in the FBI has ever heard of that. Ever. Two times. You have you can either give it to us Thursday at 5, but if it's cool if you can't do it by Thursday at 5, okay? You can do it by Monday. What? I've never heard that in my life. But I've only ever heard of one ransom in my whole life, and that's John Benet Ramsey. So
the TMZ
and wait, and that one baby back in the 1900s, and his parents were like his dad was like a doctor or something. That kid that was kidnapped. That's the only other one.
ransom note had information that wasn't public, which leads law enforcement to believe that this may possibly be real.
It is alleged to have mentioned specific details about damage to a floodlight and the location of Nancy's Apple Watch inside the home.
It looks as almost that they want to buy some time, but they're making substantial demands.
My experience with kidnappers is they want an open line of communication because they want to shutter this as quick as possible.
Well, they did say if you give her if we give her back on Thursday, you only have to pay us $4,000. If it's Monday, I believe it was like $6,000. So they were charging an extra $2,000. It was interest or something too.
Possible and take the money and run. So for it to be close-ended and a statement such as you're not going to hear anything else and we want Bitcoin is more of an aberration than the norm.
Law enforcement will go in and they will review the actual email, the transmission of it, how it was received, looking at IP addresses, looking at internet service providers, looking at header information. There's a lot of data that can be gathered on the back end. But additionally, the contents are analyzed by an FBI profiler from our behavioral analysis unit. And then working in coordination with the family, they came up with a statement Of course, it's always at the family's wish. Law enforcement will not tell them what to do. They will not force them to do anything at all. It is their choice on how they want to handle things. And ultimately, it's their choice of how they want to state the words.
We're looking at this from every angle, but we need your help. If you live in the area or saw something on Saturday night, the 31st of January, or Sunday morning, the 1st of February, please report it to the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one. Again, please help us bring Nancy Guthrie home.
Law enforcement assured a concerned public that this was an isolated incident.
Is there somebody out there who's kidnapping elderly people in the middle of the night every night? We've not heard that. We don't believe that's the case.
In fact, it is extremely rare for anyone over the age of 80 to be kidnapped at all.
And based on my experience, the fact that it's just a random individual is possible, but not probable. The fact that it's a targeted attack is much more probable. The fact that it could be someone who is close to her, that knew her very well, is highly probable. People have talked about, oh, Tucson is so close to Mexico. Maybe it's someone from Mexico that came across the border, and possible, but likely not probable.
More details emerged about the ransom notes, which allegedly demanded millions of dollars in Bitcoin. They are said to have given a deadline of 5 p.m. that Thursday, and with a warning of, or else. And the person or people involved gave no way to make contact. Meanwhile,
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. What if the Bitcoin transaction wouldn't go through and you need to get a hold of this person?
police continued to canvass the area and seek out camera footage from nearby homes.
They are going to be looking at the Ring cameras of surrounding neighbors. But that also is problematic because of the nature of the homes and the vegetation. These homes were set back far from the street. They sit on about a half an acre to an acre. Also, this neighborhood is known to have no street lights at night. That's something that they pride themselves in. They like to have the bright stars and they don't want artificial lighting. But to law enforcement, that's been quite detrimental because the more light you have, obviously, the more you can see. It's easier to solve crimes. It's easier to capture images.
If you do have a Ring camera, now you're having to deal with the different types of lighting. If there's any flashes towards that Ring, it could, change and distort the view. So if there was a vehicle driving through that neighborhood, that camera now has to deal with the lighting. It has to deal with the vegetation and also the distance. So some of the neighborhood cameras may not be able to get a vehicle coming through there like some people believe it would.
Investigators also took a deeper look into Nancy's credit card history. Had she paid someone recently who would have had access to her home?
This is quite telling because this will tell you, was there a landscaper that visited the location? Was there a plumber that visited the location that was paid with a credit card? We're going to also look to other individuals in that same area to see if we have seasonal employees, and we're going to interview all of those people. We want to widen the net as large as possible, and then we'll narrow it as we move forward.
We still have a lot more questions than answers, but President Trump says he's committed to finding out what happened.
I think it's terrible.
Would you commit to more federal agents like helping out on the?
Sure, I would. I'm going to call her later on. I think it's a terrible thing. I always got along very good with Savannah. Very unusual situation, but we're going to find out.
I think the majority of people that enter law enforcement, they have that alpha mentality. But I think at times we need to realize that there's other groups that may have different resources, different skill sets. I'm extremely happy that the FBI is here. I think, they offer a different area of with their forensics and everything else that they can use to further gather the evidence and ultimately get Nancy home and, of course, arrest the people that are involved.
As multiple law enforcement agencies probed around Tucson,
Journalist Ashley Banfield made a shocking claim. Tommaso Cioni, Nancy's son-in-law and husband of Annie Guthrie, may be under investigation. A claim we could not corroborate.
There's an important element that I think law enforcement is definitely zeroing in on, and that is she was last seen with her family, particularly her family members who dropped her off at her home. So that would be natural for law enforcement to check into that, particularly her son-in-law. And so law enforcement has visited Annie Guthrie's home, conducted interviews, and it's also important to note that they had a system called Celebrite. And that's a technological forensic evidence gathering device. And you literally can image cell phones, laptops, tablets, things of that sort. And that's critical. The family has been cooperative up until this point.
They were not named as suspects.
They were good.
Another member of the family, Cameron Guthrie, a retired F-16 pilot, arrived in Arizona to help with the search. That night, armed with little to no information about who had their mother, the three siblings made a plea for her safe return via Instagram.
She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer.
The initial statement that was made by the siblings in response to the ransom email was, please, we love our mother. Please help us and give us a sign that she's alive. We want to work with you, but we need a sign of life.
Yeah.
You can see it in their face. They want their mom back. That's what it comes down to. That's all you can do at this point.
Because anybody could be pulling your chain, right? Anybody could be doing this. Obviously, we've seen in this case, it could be anybody doing this. I would want some proof of you that you have my mother. Not in a bad way. Don't, just maybe like a newspaper with, her smiling behind it. I don't know. Just make sure she gets her medicine or something. But I don't know. I would just be unnerved.
Sit there, pray.
And if you can hear snoring in the background, that's my dog. She is out.
And be able to put out some type of message and hope that you touch the heartstrings of these individuals. But if you are to that point where you're so callous to go in a neighborhood and abduct an 80-some-year-old lady, I don't know what kind of heart you have to begin with.
That statement was very interesting, but it was all based on them working in tandem with a law enforcement individual who we refer to as a coach. And that person gains the confidence of the family as it relates to gaining information and assisting in the process, but also structuring a message to the potential kidnappers. And so when you listen to that message, it was very systematically sound in terms of who they are. The mother's a good person. We want her back in custody. They didn't tip their hand on in any way, shape, or form as it relates to what law enforcement is doing. They're just saying they want their mother back.
This was clearly a well-organized crime. Nancy's abductors knew she would be home and that she would be alone. And they knew how to remain in the shadows. The family hoped this plea would bring them into the light. The day ended with a candlelight vigil held at a local church.
Most merciful God, we pray for our sister Nancy. Guide her, comfort, and sustain her in this moment of need.
At this point, no new information about the case had emerged, but feeling the pressure to satiate a nation hungry for answers about this bizarre case, the sheriff called a press conference.
Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. I've made a decision to contact PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. We're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all.
I got to give the sheriff credit. He's taken a lot of heat because people feel that he's not putting out the fact pattern that they would like to hear. But I genuinely believe the sheriff has a lot more information than he's speaking to when we see him having his press conferences. I just think it's a matter of time.
It is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis. We're waiting for lab reports. I think you all know of the blood on the porch. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. And I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case.
They don't have a particular person of interest, but they also have not ruled out anybody. And they will keep that, net cast very, very wide. And most importantly, they want to continue to get tips. They need help.
Has there been
This was
any
before they
proof
cleared them.
of life? And has there been any sign of life? Well,
I'm going to anything to deal with the ransom notes and that I would defer to the FBI, but no, to my knowledge, we're still looking for Nancy.
Days into the search for Nancy Guthrie, police were still stumped, or at least tight-lipped.
One of the things that we've never been able to determine is how many people could be behind this. Is this a single actor? Is this multiple persons? Is this a professional team? None of that has been made clear because I don't believe law enforcement even knows.
But also, on top of that, it may not have been that direct contact. One of those individuals may have potentially hired someone to carry out this act. They may not have ever touched the crime scene, but have asked someone else or paid someone else.
The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance.
The clock seemed to be ticking even faster.
Obviously, in these investigations, time is always of the essence, but particularly when you're dealing with an individual who has health issues that literally require medications that are necessary in order to live, that adds another layer of extreme complication.
There was a strong possibility Nancy had been without her life-preserving medication for days.
That's what I don't get, right? Like, why didn't we have a countdown on the medication? Like, her doctor said she can only live this long without this medication. And then that way they know if it's a recovery or if she's can manage without it. Because I don't know about AFib medication. I don't really know about the heart. So I'm not going to talk about the heart. Other than I do know high blood pressure. Now, I don't know high blood pressure that well. I'm not going to lie. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm just thinking I'm not on medication for it, but I do have high blood pressure, which I should be on medication for it. I kind of am, but it's not for that. But my mom was, and I know that there were days that she would go without it, but I don't think that she could have went this long. Like, I don't think my mom could have even went 20 days. Do you know what I mean? I think she just was an anxiousy person. I think she would have needed her medication. So the AFib, she would need that daily, and her blood pressure. So do you think that, like, was she on any medication? I wonder specifically, other than maybe like the AFib medication for her pacemaker. I had a friend that has a pacemaker. He still has it. I mean, he'll always have it, but his wasn't like, he had his from when he was a kid. I don't know if he's got like a high-tech one. Oh, AFib is extremely serious and painful. Okay. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know anything about AFib. Thank goodness. I mean, knock on wood, that I never have to even learn about it.
but that also offered an investigative tool.
The sheriff had said that they had gone to different pharmacies, gone to different areas to see, if that medication had been requested since her disappearance. But at this point, they see no record of that.
In a bit of a surprise.
And if she would have, they wouldn't have had medication at the pharmacy if she had enough at her house. So it would have taken a certain amount of days. She would have had to run out of the days that she had at her house. Okay, say they kidnapped her, right? She had 15 days left on her medications at her house. They couldn't just call the pharmacy and be like, hey, can we get more meds? They'll want to see you. And depending on the medication, they may want to drug test you too. And like have you even write a police report saying like they're missing or stolen or whatever. Because like they're going to ask you why you don't have your medication. You don't have to give them a reason. So they would have to wait those extra 15 days out anyway. So, or, 10 days or whatever it was. So maybe the cops should go back and look now, now that it's been some days since counter pills, see how many pills she had left, then go to the pharmacy.
Surprising move. Police returned to Nancy's house to do another sweep of the crime scene.
Now, law enforcement officials were back in force at Nancy Guthrie's house last night, just 24 hours after the Sheriff's Department had told us they'd actually cleared the crime scene. Well, they all turned up last night. Sheriff's deputies, Border Patrol with canine units, and FBI agents. They took more items from the house. For instance, we saw them carrying away something wrapped in brown paper.
They turned over the crime scene quite prematurely. And then the FBI was brought in later on, and they had their own way of conducting investigations, and they wanted to go back and retrieve additional evidence and things of that sort.
As the day drew to a close, the ultimatum set in. The 5 p.m. deadline to hand over millions of dollars passed. Not a word from the captors about those disastrous consequences they had threatened.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
Local Tucson television station, KOLD, received a second ransom note originating from a different IP address than the one a few days prior. Again, no proof of life. It is reported that the second message made no new demands.
One of the things we're trying to determine is whether or not the two messages that were sent to local media are from the same person or persons. That information has not been shared with us, but the software that's being used to hide the identity of the person sending it is the same. And also the language being used, the details being shared are the same. They believe they're coming from the same individual or individuals.
Meanwhile, officials...
Why would you send multiple letters before you even get a response from the first one?
Are now looking into all leads and have visited a gas station just miles from Nancy's neighborhood to review surveillance video and search for a vehicle of interest.
Guthrie's neighbor, Brett McIntyre, told the New York Post that he reported seeing an unmarked van to the police, who asked him basic questions about what he observed and what he saw. He said it was a white van, full size, with no printing on the side. It was parked on the street before she disappeared.
Like before when? Like how many, like a couple minutes, a couple hours, a couple days? Are we going to pull over unmarked white vans now? Should have been doing that in the 80s.
Where would you go with that?
2026.
Following up on that tip, law enforcement asked local business.
This is not 1985. White van, unmarked. No windows. One bubble window in the back corner.
Businesses for any video footage that may have caught the van on camera. Meanwhile, on board Air Force One, President Trump weighed in again, this time suggesting new information may be coming to light.
Yeah. We have some clues, I think, that are very strong, and I think we could have some answers coming up
fairly soon.
Is this a nationwide search? Is this a search going?
I'm not talking about a search. I'm talking about a solution. We have some things I think that will maybe come out reasonably soon from DOJ or FBI or whoever that could be
suspect.
I don't mean to laugh. I think they put him on the spot. Or something because he said fairly soon. Maybe the DOJ, maybe the FBI, somebody, not me, but somebody. Where's the number for that red phone? I want it.
Yeah, could be definitive.
On Friday afternoon,
Like that is a politician. Don't give a direct answer.
FBI agents were seen on the roof of a building on Guthrie's property, removing a mounted wired device.
I
understand that one of the reasons why last night they went up on the roof of Nancy's home is that a neighbor had pointed out that the roof had recently been surfaced, and they went up there with a ladder to get, take something off the roof.
I wonder if they saw a camera back there, right? Because that looked like a white camera to me. And they were like, okay, we can't go in the back door. And they decided to go in the front. But if you look at the front, it's like you can't see until you're in there. I feel like. So I think that he went in that little entryway and then was like, oh, there's a camera. But you was already seen. See, at that time, you should have just shut down the whole operation. Everybody out.
The Guthries made one last desperate appeal. They took to Instagram and agreed to pay the ransom.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us and we will pay.
The latest communication from the Guthries posted on Savannah Guthrie's Instagram is probably the most dire of the messages that we've seen so far. One, it does not ask for proof of life. Two, there is no direct address from Savannah to her mother, and that she's using specific terms to the kidnappers.
Many people focused on one key word: celebrate.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. That can be taken in different ways. It can be taken that they want their mother alive returned to them so they can celebrate with her, or it could be taken in an unfortunate manner that she may very well no longer be here, but they want her body.
One week after Nancy was taken from her home, investigators continued to track down every lead.
We've seen law enforcement go back out to the house many times. We've also seen them using metal detectors. We've also seen them even searching through, lifting up manholes and searching inside of what's underneath. It's obvious that law enforcement is taking this incredibly seriously. They've dedicated a lot of resources towards it. We've seen them make many searches. I'm sure that even behind the scenes, it's far beyond any of that.
No matter what happens, one thing is for certain: the city of Tucson has been changed forever.
I think the community itself, it's frustrated, right? You don't want your city to be underneath a magnifying glass when it comes to a crime, first and foremost.
I think people still maintain hope, but it's hard to do that when it doesn't seem as though there are any clear leads.
And then, as the second deadline loomed, Savannah Guthrie issued another statement via Instagram.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
It appears huge development. The FBI has an image of a man who is masked, who is armed, and the only thing discernible are his eyes, his mouth.
It's absolutely remarkable development. Residual data from back-end systems. Just an hours ago, we thought this case had come to an absolute.
He's not very either strong, or he's just trying to maybe block the camera. But like, what? I mean, at that point, what is this going to do? Was he knocking on the door trying to get her to answer? And then maybe he thought if he just like hid himself right there, he can just like go around the camera and go inside. I don't know. But I mean, it looks like he almost wants to like knock it off, but then he doesn't.
Brick wall, and that they were asking the public for any kind of tips. This is incredibly valuable evidence. And I know people may be looking at this and saying, well, you can't see the person's face, you can't see their hair, there's no identifying features. What I am so encouraged by is how clear these photos are. This is a very...
Look at that. Someone knows that body leaning forward like that. Someone knows that mouth. Someone knows those eyes. That I mean, if that was Vincent, I'd be like, I would know. Would you guys know if that was your kid or your husband? I think you guys would. Or you'd at least be thinking about it. If you're thinking about it, call the FBI.
Powerful evidence, not only in furthering the investigation, but potentially at a trial. And I'm very encouraged by it.
I mean, who asked for, who went and bought this all together? I think they bought this whole outfit at Walmart. I think they bought the whole thing. I think they bought the gun holster. If they sold handguns, I would have bet they bought that there too, but they don't sell them. So I think he bought the jacket, and I think he bought it all the same time. The book bag. I mean, unless he's just like me and he just really like, I love Target, he loves Walmart, and everything would just be from there. But I don't know. I think I think he bought this old jacket with this little stripe across it. That wouldn't be hard to find. And then it looks like it almost has like a silver or gray or silver zipper. And then he's got the things on his book bag so nobody will hit him. He doesn't want no cars to hit him. Reflectors there. He brought his flashlight. And then he was going to put Vine on this.
We have another new posting from Savannah Guthrie on her social media account. She's posting the new video and saying this: someone out there recognizes this person. We believe she is still out there. Bring her home. Anyone with information, please contact 1-800-CALL-FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Department.
For Nancy, for the Guthrie family, for the Tucson community, and all the country who has offered so much support throughout this heartbreaking situation, we can only hope that she will be found and that one day justice will be served.
Like, who steals a person, right? Who steals a person, first off? But who steals an 84-year-old grandmother? Like, she has to be worth something to them. Is it millions in Bitcoin? I mean, it seems like they would have already got their money and left. I understand the Bitcoin because it's not like you have to go pick it up, right? Like, if it's cash money, they could put die packs in there, tracers, all the things. And they will, and they would. So I do kind of understand the Bitcoin thing, but as soon as you take it out, it's going to transfer out of your name. Your name's going to be there. So that wouldn't work either. I mean, maybe a cashier's check at this point, or who knows? How about you just bring home Nancy? You don't have to bring her home because, there's 1,000,001 media there. Take her to a hospital. Drop her off at the hospital. Drop her off at any nursing home. Make sure she gets inside. before you leave. Yeah. And then, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking the reason why they're not dropping her off anywhere and just like skedaddling is because she's seen their face. They're probably wondering, I mean, if she's still alive with them, I would think that they're probably wondering what to do. If it's more than one. If it's just one, he's wondering what he should do. Because at this point, it's been 20 days, 19, 20 days. I'm sure she's seen his face by now. I'm sure he hasn't been walking around with a ski mask on this whole time. Maybe, but I doubt it. I just don't know why. I mean, she's 84 years old. Like, I would think maybe the money. The only thing I would think to go after her would either be to be famous for it or for money. And I think it would be maybe even her money, maybe not even so much as Savannah's. Maybe this person, maybe they didn't even know about Savannah and her, maybe they knew about the other siblings, because that I know that, well, Annie, I think, and her husband used to take care of her, would take care of her. I don't know. You don't think she's with us anymore, Tracy? I don't know. Who told you that, Ladybug? Because I have her deed and stuff, and he's not anywhere in there. So that's not true. I'm going to her documents right now. I showed it to you guys. She doesn't have a power of attorney. And why, of all people, why would she make him her power of attorney? That makes no sense. Come on. Who told you that? Because I got to hear that. I mean, that's... Like, there's no way in this world I would have my son-in-law be my power of attorney when I have kids. 3 kids. You have no idea, then don't say it. Just don't, oh my goodness. Because then people are going to take that into other chats and be like, guess what? Tommaso did this. He's power of attorney. There's no. Just sit for a minute with things, people, and just think about this. I mean, maybe he is, okay? Maybe I'm the one that's going to look stupid. But why would you give your son-in-law over here your power of attorney when you've got a daughter that takes care of you? You've got Savannah that seems like she'd be hella good with money and end of care life and stuff. And then you've got your son. Why would you give that to your son-in-law? Somebody that probably wants you dead. I mean, for your money. I don't know. Just saying. I'm just saying I would never give it to my son-in-law. Maybe I'll come out of the one on the one that's weird, but where did you hear it? Like on a YouTuber channel? Like don't trust YouTubers. Even me. If I say something, type it into Google. It's simple. Just Google it. And Google will usually tell you. Oh yeah, I was going down to the documents that I have. Charles' death certificate. I have his death record. I have the residential property card for Nancy. I have her trust. He's not in there. Safe alert, reward for information, statement on ransom notes, candlelight prayer, the no suspect statement, and Nancy Guthrie property plan. I have her property record plan. And then I got the guy that tried to do the ransom, his complaint. Yeah, because I asked that in the beginning, that if she had a power of attorney, because I said something about like, I'm just very, power of attorneys, I don't like them. They're icky. I don't like it. It's a me thing. It's not an anybody else thing. It's a me thing. My mom had a power of attorney over her. And let's just say she ended up with a bracelet on that she would have never had on when she was at her end of her years. So whenever I see it, like when I think of power of attorneys, I just want to like, I hate them. I'll never have one unless it's Vincent. I would trust him right now with being a power of attorney, but they're icky. And they're so gross. And we got my mom off of this power of attorney when I was in the hospital. And then she went and got her back on. And it was like, Mom, why did you do that? So it might have been like a chat GBT kind of deal. I don't, because we would have heard that. We all would have heard that. Has anyone heard that? It does. It ends in death. You're your mom's power of attorney? See, Lady Bug, I wish my mom would have made me hers. I don't know why she didn't. She made her sister. We don't get along. But you know what? The beauty is, don't got to do. I don't put up with her anymore, you know? I'll have to tell you guys about that. I'll have to tell you, hey, Carl, I'll tell you about that on my second channel because it was a mess. It was a whole mess. And I just don't, I hope everyone is sound mind and body when they're older. I know you're not a lot of times, and I probably won't be, you know, and I'll probably need Vincent's help with things. I'm sure of it. But good thing that's why I've got me a healthy man. I got to keep him healthy. You're your mom's power of attorney. See, I don't know. Like that is like one thing, but like, I don't know. She thought she had her best interest at heart, and she didn't. I don't believe in my heart and in my soul, and in my brother's heart and soul too. So, that's why I hate power of attorney so much. I hope that no one ever needs them, but I know that people will. You know, I mean, that's the thing about life. You know, we all come into this world. When I feel like we come in and we go out kind of the same way, like little babies. And that's me anyway. See, Tony? Yeah, see? That's what happened with my grandma. Well, it wasn't that. They weren't power of attorney. She just went in and took everything, and my mom didn't say anything. Because my mom was such a meek, mild, you know? So she did get one thing back, and it was this fireplace, and it doesn't light up, but it still works, like the heater. So I have it, and it's the only thing of my mom's that I haven't, like, that's furniture wise that I haven't gotten rid of. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep that little heater till it doesn't heat anymore. There is no script. You're right, Renee. I don't think it was a stranger. I definitely don't think it was. You were your dad's, Carl? It was stressful. Yeah. Yeah. I took care of my mom. I should have been her power of attorney. I was there with her every single day. But I wouldn't take a second of that back. My mom was so awesome. Especially in her older years. She got sassy there at the end. I loved it. We do have a court date. I meant to look. I'll make sure I tell you guys tomorrow. So I think for the Flynn case, or we're not calling him that. I'm trying not to associate Ashley with Caleb right now because he's in jail for her murder. But Caleb Carl, we're calling him by his first and middle name. Caleb Carl has a court date. I think it's the 26th. I'll double check. And then tomorrow we'll do a little live over it because I do have his court hearing, and we'll go over that. And then we'll go over some other stuff, whatever you guys didn't hear. So from today. But yeah, we did a live earlier today. We did a live on the second channel today. I did a live on TikTok earlier. Dang, I've been live everywhere. I'm gonna go to bed. I would give Vincent. I think that you would be a good person to be her power of attorney, Ashley. And Vincent said today, I showed him a picture of the cat, and he was like, why doesn't, and maybe you should look into this. You should get paid something for taking care of Miss Boo. Maybe you can get paid from the state or something. They can help you because you take care of her so much. And then you work on top of it. It's just a lot. It's just so much. And I want you to be comfortable. And I know she would want you to be comfortable. Or maybe they could help you with something. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I'll come up with something too. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, and power of attorneys suck. I don't like it. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, Tony. See, that's how, yeah. I hate people. I hate family sometimes. I mean, I really do. I love them, but I hate them at the same time because, like, there's no need for that. You guys could have split things evenly, or maybe if she took extra, she could have given you something. For goodness sake, jeez. My mom actually, she lucked out because my grandmother, before she died, she said, "Cindy, come here," and she sat my mom down and she took off her wedding ring. This is a point of contention also in my life. And she gave that to my mom. Well, my sister-in-law has it. Speaking of in-laws, that's my grandma. Yeah. So it's just craziness, but that's fine. I got this rings and these rings. This one. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate it. Tomorrow's Saturday, so hopefully it's going to be sunny and nice where you guys are. I don't know what it's going to be like here. I could tell y'all real quick. I think it's going to be snowing on Sunday. That's what Vincent keeps saying, but I didn't see any snowflakes on my screen. No snowflakes, but it's going to be cold. It's going to be 32. 32 tomorrow. Wait, no, 41. It's after midnight. Well, you guys all have a great day. Have a great Saturday. It's past midnight, so hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow on the live. But if not, have a good weekend and make sure you have your doors locked and all the things locked. Windows, doors, all those things. Yeah. And if you have anything you need to email me, just email me at titaniumbuiltboo@gmail.com and I'll see you guys all in the next live. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Only just